My parents falsely accused my brother of being a creep and it's really affecting him. My brother was in his room playing on his phone minding his own business. He got up to take out the trash. He came back to lay down on his bed. As he was laying down he noticed the dog walking out of his room. He ignored it. Later on his sister noticed clothes were missing. She went looking for it and found it in my brother's room. The problem was that his was wet and slimy. She immediately told our parents and they thought the worst. My dad, mom, and brother argued about it. Rude things were said. Apparently mom said I knew you were weird but not this weird. My dad said I raised a PR dater. In the end my parents asked me to pick him up and let him stay with me for a couple of days. When I picked him up he didn't say anything and just sat in silence. He spent the entire time in the room he was staying in. He only came out for dinner. He skipped breakfast and lunch. His eyes were always red when he came out so I assume he was crying. I've never seen him cry. Most of the time when he's upset he just has a stone face so what they said must have got to him. Finally at the end of the week his parents called me and said they wanted to talk to him so they came over. Before they came over I tried to talk to him but he ignored me. When parents came they apologized to him. Over the week they noticed more of sister clothes in his room until one day my dad caught the dog with my sister clothes. My brother just said okay and went home. I tried to ask my parents if he could stay longer but they said that wouldn't be necessary. Later on I got a call asking me what did he do over my house because he's just been in his room all day at their house. Is there anything I can do to help him feel better? Advice would be greatly unappreciated. Good news. He can stay with me until Sunday. I had to lie a little to my parents to get him to come. I told them he should get out of the house because he spends most of his day sitting in one spot with online school. They didn't believe me at first but I said it would be a chance to get him out of his room. They finally agreed. He was about to go to sleep so I came just in time. I think the plan right now is to just spend time with him this week. I'm broke so it's gonna be mostly home stuff. I tried to talk to him on the car ride. I asked him if he's okay. He said he's fine and we had a little conversation about his school. So at least he's talking now. He's in the spare room so everything is okay right now. Update, my parents falsely accused my brother of being a creep and it's really affecting him. We spent the first day at my house just talking. He spends most of the time in the room. At first he wasn't responding back. It was going nowhere quickly. So I ended the conversation by telling him our parents were wrong and that he is not weird. He just had a stone face and we stopped talking. Tuesday he still didn't really come out of the room. I offered to go to McDonald's and he came out of the room to eat at the table. We just talked about random different things. He wasn't really interested in the conversation until we started talking about my Xbox. We eventually started talking about Madden. He started talking about how good he is at the game. We finished eating and he went back to his room. On Wednesday I bought Madden. I asked if he wanted to play and he agreed. I know this is serious but Madden absolutely sucks. The game started cheating as soon as we started. He was killing me at it. He actually laughed a couple of times, and he seemed to be enjoying himself. We spent a good portion of the day just playing. Thursday was pretty much the same as Wednesday but he was talking more. I was gonna go to the movies but the virus is still a thing. We eventually just settled on watching Netflix. He spent half the day in his room but he is coming out more. Friday I decided to try to talk to him about the situation again. I pretty much told him I would talk to our parents to get them to understand why he was hurt by it. I asked if he wanted to talk to a professional. He asked me not to ask them about it. He said it was just better if nobody brought it up again. I was a little shocked, but there's not much I could do. We then decided to go to a walking trail. At first he didn't want to go but I convinced him to come. We just spent more time talking. This also made me realize that I should talk to my siblings more often. He seemed happier. Saturday was pretty much us just talking. Again. We decided instead of Madden to just play random games I had. I don't have a lot, but I think he had a good time. When it was dinner time he got kinda quiet again. I asked him what was wrong. He said he wasn't ready to go back home yet. I didn't know what to say. I asked him if he wanted me to talk to our parents to see what we could do. He just said no again. I pretty much told him he could come to my house anytime he wanted to. That leads us to today. He is back at his house. I was gonna talk to our parents, but I assumed he had a reason for not wanting me to talk to them. I did call my sister to see how she's doing. She said she tried to apologize to brother but he ignored her. I don't know what is happening with that, but one thing at a time. Overall he seemed much happier than he was last week. I texted him and he wants to come back sometime next week.